What is up, everyone, and welcome to the Money Talk Show, the show where we have time to talk about money. Tonight, we have great voices to introduce you to, like our guest, Joseph L. Patterson, on our pre-launch episode 12, How to Be Happy, Healthy, and Wealthy, as we discuss how to build a healthy lifestyle that promotes happiness and wealthiness that we can pass on to future generations. So let's talk about the one subject that we know can make our dreams come true. Let's talk about money.
We are not able to make conscious decisions if we're not mentally stable. And the world
is what we call home equity loan. That actually cash you can leverage.
We are so happy to have you with us, Kamaya.
Thank you. My advice is always to start out with 2 credit cards. Or get your parents to.
You are not healthy. You are putting a stop. You're creating a situation.
So welcome to our show, Mr. Jennings. How are you doing today?
I am well, thank you. How are you?
Well, politics affects generational wealth in every country. I'll give you a few scenarios.
Quickest and easiest way to get started in a business for
regeneration. When they come up, they have something can give them a start. Political. Pick up the people who say I'm free, get rich and die trying to hear.
That's right. Welcome, everyone, to Money Talk Show pre-launch episode 12, How to Be Happy, Healthy, and Wealthy. If you enjoy the show, please don't forget to hit that like button on YouTube. This upvote helps the algorithm send our content out to new people, building our audience, viewers like you. But also subscribe. If you feel like joining the Money Talk Show family, then hitting that bell icon to all so that you can see more of us by seeing our premieres and also joining our live streams. Hello, everyone in chat. Finally, go check out our Patreon at patreon.com/Money Talk Show, where you can get some behind the scenes early access and VIP perks for supporting the channel. With that, what is up, Mo? What is up, Glenroy? Woo-hoo. How are you both doing tonight?
I am doing great, Amy. Great energy, Mr. Walker.
Awesome. Somehow with all of this energy, I believe that tonight is going to be another awesome episode,
That's right.
And for those of you that are watching this evening or tonight, wherever you are, please share with friends and family, because tonight is going to be the night. You understand? We have an awesome. I'm not even sure how many guests you have on. You guys have on this evening, Mr. Patterson, right?
Right. So we have Mr. Patterson tonight for the entire show this evening.
Are you serious?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God! Look here. Mr. Patterson is one of those awesome gentlemen, and I know that there's a lot of information that he have. One of the things that I don't understand about Mr. Patterson as a politician, this man he doesn't want to talk about politics. I mean, if I was going to be on tonight, I have some political stuff that I would like to ask him about, because I've been learning some things over the past couple of weeks about things that really concern Jamaicans and the diaspora and the Afrocentric people, about things that we have, about things that are going on with the government. But somehow Mr. Patterson is actually staying far from those things. I would really like to ask him about, just this week, I was listening to a program coming out of Jamaica, and I have to give, they said when you hear something, you have to give credit to certain person. And I was watching, I think it's Andrew Stevenson is the young man name. and he was giving some statistic more about the gold that we have in Jamaica, the red gold, the bauxite. I didn't even realize that's how powerful bauxite is to the world. But
Yes.
our Jamaican backside actually does, I mean, every different thing that you have in your home, every different thing that you have across the world, the satellite, or cell phone, all of those different things comes from the dirt, our backside. So it is more important than even gold. And then I start to do some research on it and realize that we are only selling our backside in Jamaica for $25, when even across Guyana is selling the same backside for $211 and elsewhere $300. And I'm saying to myself, you mean for all of these many years we are giving away the country? So the politicians are basically selling out the country, because 20, just imagine if we were selling our backside for even $100. Do you how much, Guyana, do you know that Jamaica could be like a Dubai? You understand? Those are some of the questions that I would like to talk to Mr. Patterson about. But of course, he's talking about love, he's talking about wealth, and he's talking about health. So maybe there's no place there. We're going to have to invite him another time to talk about real politics. Anyway, I know Amy was the one. Then where's this? What about what? Maybe Amy didn't even know that Jamaica produced bauxite.
I did not, and
Yes, Jamaica is one of the place that we have been doing. We have been selling or giving the world bauxite for long before I was born. Yeah. So
see,
Jamaica is,
but that's why we're running this podcast, so
yes.
we can actually learn out there. Though I like a lot of his messages. Just gonna say, just happiness, always a good message. You can't, just putting that out there.
Anyway, I know I've spent a lot of time talking and so forth, so I am going to turn over to Mo now, because I know Mr. Patterson must be there waiting on her right now. So,
Well,
if
Amy and I will be hosting today.
oh, woo, nice. So, Amy, maybe you need to ask Mr. Patterson some of those political
The hard
questions.
way.
Okay.
We will see.
Okay.
We will see.
Anyway,
We have a
guys.
long show today, but we will definitely see about that.
Yes.
But Mr. Walker, before you go, I just want to just kind of, before we bring on Mr. Patterson, we're calling all the amazing mothers out there, because we're very thrilled to announce that we are still launching, or still have our launch of prestigious Mothers of the Month. And so the registration is on our social media platforms, and this is an incredible opportunity for us to celebrate and honor the incredible women who have dedicated their lives to nurturing and raising their children. So please don't forget to check out our social media pages where that is concerned. We're also thrilled to introduce our fantastic birthday of the month as well celebration. And if you're looking for a truly memorable and unique way to commemorate your special day, this is it. So don't forget to submit your details and information through our social media pages. We are on Facebook, we're on Instagram, and we are also on TikTok at the Delta Money Talk Show.
Yeah,
So
I believe that we have a few birthday folks that submitted their names. So next week Tuesday
Fantastic.
next week we are hoping that we get a live band next week Tuesday. If we can't get a live band, then we have to go ask DJ Black to come in and just nice up the place next
nice
week.
up the place, right?
And just do that celebration, because next week Tuesday I think is the last of the month.
No, actually this week Tuesday. Next week Tuesday is August.
This is our last Tuesday, and then very specifically, the first of the month is next Tuesday.
It's next week Tuesday, correct? Right.
Oh, I see. I see. Okay, okay. My bad, my bad.
I
Sorry,
also,
guys.
my head caught up to what I wanted to say. Happiness may not feed mouths, but it can move mountains.
Oh
There
yeah.
we go.
There we
There's your
go.
I guess if we are all happy, we would not be selling out the country and we would be just treating everybody right.
exactly just treating everyone better.
Anyway, guys, I am still promoting the show right now. So I'm on my social media, sharing, liking, and all of that. So please join me, ladies and gentlemen. Please subscribe. Please invite friends and family because this gentleman that is coming on, you guys need to get to know him. And when you listen to him tonight, you are going to be sharing it, telling your friends and your family, because this gentleman, we really need to get him in the White House. Oh, did I say the White House? No.
The Jamaican White House. The Jamaican
Jamaica.
White
We need to get him in the Jamaica. I mean, it would be good if we have somebody like him in
I
the
was
White
gonna
House
say,
in
depending on
America
the
right
choices
now.
we have now, I
Yes,
think I'd
yes,
go with Mr.
because
Madison.
we don't have a choice in America right now. I think Jamaica and the Caribbean right now, I mean, Jamaica and the United States are running parallel with each other right now. No good leadership right now. So we are looking for good leaders. So more, Amy, who know you maybe need to put in your thing and run for president of this country.
Go, Amy. Go, Amy.
Okay, guys, take it over.
All right, all right, all right. So we would like to welcome Mr. Patterson, and so I'm going to do a quick introduction. Currently, Mr. Patterson is the president of the United Independence Congress of Jamaica, the third official registered political party in our island. Mr. Patterson is a chartered professional accountant who served as a CFO, CEO, and chairman in different organizations in the private, public, and non-profit sectors. Tonight, we will be discussing how to be happy, healthy, and wealthy. So welcome, Mr. Joseph Patterson, everyone. Hi, Mr. Patterson. Welcome back to the show. How are you?
Hi, Momo. Hi, Amy. Good to be on. Thank you so much for having me. I'm doing very well. I heard Mr. Walker chastising me for being, more about happiness than than politics. So I will do my best to touch on a little bit of it in the process. But glad to be here. A real pleasure. And I'm looking forward to the discussion we're about to have.
We're so happy to have you here. Amy and I will be hosting today. So you have both of us who will be chit-chatting along the way with regards to some questions about our topic.
Excellent.
Right? So do you have anything you'd like to share before we start?
No. Well, today I had a very good time picking Ribena or blackcurrant. So
Nice.
we had a really good harvest this year. I planted those trees 8 years ago.
Wow.
And patiently nurtured and cared for them until last year we got a good crop, but it was not as beautiful and sumptuous as it is this year. So this year we got even more, but this time they're very plump, much sweeter than last year. And so I'm very excited about that.
But that is good self-discipline. 8 years of cultivating.
8 years, yeah.
I'm sure though, I like the Ribena fruit because they sell it out here and we can actually buy it and we can either make drinks with it or juices and or some of us just kind of chew on it a bit.
Absolutely. And the good thing about the Ribena berry is that it is not very sweet. So if you're diabetic, it's a good fruit to eat. And it's also very, very nutritious. Very high in iron content because the roots go very deep down into the ground and bring up all of those nutrients. So if you want to be happy, healthy, and wealthy, plant and eat Ribena.
Tip number one.
Good one. Good one. All right. So let's get right into it. All right. So, Mr. Patterson, what are some of the key practices or habits that contributes to overall happiness, health, and wealth?
Well, the first thing is you have to accept that you have complete control over you, that you are completely responsible for your own happiness, for your own health, and your own wealth. The biggest mistake you can make is to blame others and think that somebody else is responsible for you to be happy and healthy and wealthy. So take responsibility. Take full responsibility for you, where you are now and where and who you are becoming. So first of all, I mean, if you're going to do well in anything, you have to have self-confidence, and so you have to have confidence in you. You also need to understand that success is a progressive process. So you don't just get to the end. I like to say success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. So every morning when you get up, if you are working on your plan, you are succeeding. If you stop working on your plan, if you give up, if you become, despondent, if you decide that, oh, it's not going to work out, that's when failure sets in. So if you want something in life, just keep working at it.
I like that. I think I'm going to steal that. Every morning when you wake up, if you are working on your plan, you are succeeding. I want to highlight that, underline it, bold it. I love that. That's a really nice go-getter phrase right there. Really appreciate that. So how does maintaining a positive mindset then impacts one's ability to achieve happiness, health, and wealth?
All right. First of all, you have to understand that your body follows your mind.
Right.
So whatever your mind is thinking, your body, if you become very stressed, your body becomes tense, your organs do not function properly, you can get serious indigestion, you can get acid reflux, kind of serious problems just because of your mind. So your mind is a powerful tool. The interesting thing is your mind is also impacted by your health. So if you're not eating well, drinking well and exercising, you're also affecting your mind. So the two works together. So you want to build a solid mind in order for you to have a good, healthy body, and vice versa. The truth is, Amy and Mo, we become what we think about the most. So whatever you're thinking, please bear in mind that's what you're becoming. So if you're a hateful person, you're going to develop some serious contortions in your face. You're going to have contortions in your body. You're going to have a mind that is confused and that cannot be focused. So you have to make sure you let go of anything which is negative and destructive and channel your mind into positive thought. We become also what we eat, what we drink, and as I said before, what we think. So you want to look at 3 areas of your life. What am I eating? What am I drinking? And what am I thinking? And if what you're eating is bad, and if what you're drinking is bad, and if what you're thinking is bad, your outcome, your life is going to be bad. So if you want a very successful life, a very positive life, eat well, drink well, and think well.
Wow. Okay, so much messages in what you're in your response. I want to also highlight, underline, and replay. You become what you think about the most. You become what you eat. You become what you drink. I have to agree with that so much, because once you start thinking negative and you give off the negative energy, negative things starts to happen. Once you start to eat badly, you start to notice the weight gain. You start to notice the deformation within your body, and you're not happy with yourself. Once you start to drink vigorously, probably alcohol or whatever, you start to not become yourself. You're constantly intoxicated. You can't think straight. You can't do anything straight. So I really, really, really appreciate that response as well. I can't wait to hear your response to the next question. Can you share specific examples of how physical health and well-being contributes to overall wealth and happiness? Example.
Sure. How physical health and well-being contribute to overall. Well, my wife and I mean, this is just our own decision. I mean, everybody's free to make the kind of decision they want to make for themselves, but we have made some decisions for ourselves. So my wife and I, we have been vegans or vegetarians for almost all of our adult lives. So when we were kids, we ate whatever our parents gave us. I remember when I was a child, I didn't want to eat meat, to be honest with you. But of course, when you're in a poor household and, you just eat what you're given. So I had to eat what I was given. Fortunately for us, when in my younger years, my mom was a single mom. We lived in a one-room house, one room exactly, no other room, just one room for everything, no bathroom inside. And so our meal was very simple. So I had a lot of cornmeal and kalaloo and pap chow and all the kind of very simple but highly nutritious food. So even though my mom wanted to give us more richer foods, we were accidentally being fed very well because of the cornmeal, the pop chow, the cabbage, the kalaloo, because that's all we could afford. It's easier to buy a bundle of kalaloo than to go buy beef or, that kind of stuff. So that's what we ate. Now, as I got older, I think I got married at 23. So I've been married now for 29 years to the same lady, wonderful girl, Charlotte. And so very early in our marriage, we became vegetarians, vegans. And so that has been a very important part. Now, I found in my own experience that a plant-based diet means more energy,
right,
less medications, and a powerful mind. So during my time in the corporate world, I found that normally I had more energy than my peers. My thinking skills were tremendous, and I wasn't using the company's medical plan. So I wasn't using medication. I mean, I've gone through my entire corporate years, climbing the corporate ladder, without ever substantively using the medical plan from the company. So I was saving the company, thousands of dollars on myself by not needing to use anything. Now, the result of all of that, the result of having a plant-based diet where you're not, loading yourself up with fats and a lot of sugar and so on, meant that I was healthier, happier, and in the end, richer than most people in my age group. I tell you what, when you eat a plant-based diet, your cost is much lower in terms of the food that you buy. Also, your cost is much lower in terms of medication, and your cost is much lower in terms of time away from work, having headaches, migraines, all these kind of stuff. You now can be more active, more productive, and your mind is more powerful. So I find that's what works for me. It may not work for you, but I would strongly recommend it to everyone because of my own experience.
Well, what we can then do that, because I still eat meat, but no, I've always wanted to go pescatarian or vegetarian at some point in my life. But what I've tried to do over the years is to just kind of include some more plant-based stuff within my diet. So I would try to do, like, instead of I cook the chicken or the pork, I would do a little kalaloo here and there and so forth. So definitely, we can recommend that we include more vegetables within our diet. And we all already know that it is within our culture on Sunday, we always have to have the vegetable on the side with the rice and peas and chicken. Go ahead, Amy.
Can I just ask, as a side question, is there any quote unquote power foods out there, some really great replacements maybe that also are great on the pocket that people just trying to get into a more healthier lifestyle could aim for?
It's really a mind change. And by the way, a person can eat meat and be very healthy. The key thing is balance, right? Your size, your proportion size, and also when you eat it. If you're eating a lot of meat close to the end of the day, then your body's going to have that to work on, at night. It's going to be very challenging. So you're overtaxing the system. So whatever you're eating, you just don't eat in excess, and you do it in proper proportion size, and you plan your meals. So for example, if you eat irregularly, so you're not eating on a regular schedule, your body doesn't develop a proper rhythm to digest all of that, right? So you want to make sure that, for example, you have a very big breakfast, a nutritious breakfast. It may be for you eggs, it may include kalaloo, it may have cabbage, it may be bananas, yam, whatever it is, but have a nice healthy breakfast at the front end. For me, I'll tell you what my breakfast looks like in the morning. So my breakfast is made mostly, like 90% of the time, oatmeal. So I have a big bowl of oatmeal. In that oatmeal, you're going to have some diced up apples, bananas, You're going to have grounded up almonds, cashew, flaxseed, sunflower seed, walnut seeds, grounded up in my grinder, nice and powdery. Put it in, mix it all in. I never use milk in my oatmeal, except if I'm going to use soy milk. But normally what I do, I boil the water, pour it on the oatmeal, leave it to settle while I go and get a shower. Okay. Let me back up a second. So here's how the morning begins. So I'm an early bird, so I normally go to bed somewhere, if I can, between 8 and 9 o'clock if possible.
That's a good time.
Yeah, I try to get 8 hours sleep. Then I wake up and I'm going to do a vigorous exercise for about 1 hour. So I'm going to be doing some serious cardio, some serious workout for that 1 hour. Everything is worked. Every part of me is worked fully for the day. By then, my oatmeal is soaking with all of those wonderful stuff in there. The very boiled water I pour in it is just bringing out all of the flavors, the strawberry, whatever is in there.
Marinated
out into this stirred mixture. Then I get my shower. I come out. I drop my homemade bread that my wife makes. She makes the absolute best bread in the world. And I drop it in the toaster. I take it out. I get out my bee sweet honey, which we produce here on the farm. And I put some honey on top of my bread. I don't put it in the oatmeal because you have to put a whole lot for it to become sweet. So I don't try to use that as a sweetener in my oatmeal. But you can. Sometimes I do. Most time I put it on the bread, so I'm not using too much. Yeah?
Right.
Then I sit down and I have that. Because it's oatmeal, you're packed for the day. You are ready for the day. You're not hungry until 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock before you're ready to eat another meal, right? And so that's what happens to me in the morning. Somebody else might have a different kind of breakfast, but that one works for me and it keeps me pumped until 12, 1, 2, and then I can have lunch. And I graduate my meal as much as possible to eat less in the evening than I do in the early part of the day.
Which seems to be a common misconception, or not a common misconception. We all seem to eat more. I know I do at night when it should be you're doing it in the morning, so your body.
You gotta reverse it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, Mo.
Your metabolism is beginning to drop, right? At night. So, so you're going to end up with more fat than you need to, right? So if you eat early, you're in the day, you're moving, your body is working, it's burning stuff up.
Exactly.
But if you eat late, you're going to bed with all that stuff, you're going to wake up with some serious problems.
I know when I go out and buy oatmeal and strawberries and bananas and apples and all of these things, but I'll probably get the instant one. I mean, is there a difference though? Like, side question. Like, if you do the instant oatmeal other than like the one that you gotta soak.
Listen, start with whatever works for you. Like I like to tell people, just start where you're comfortable and work your way into it. Don't jump off the deep end and get drowned, right? For me, when I became a vegan vegetarian, I just went cold turkey. I mean, I was just waiting for my wife to be ready. And the moment she said, I'm ready, great. But that doesn't work for everybody. So take your time and find out. The key thing is set goals and work towards them, right? You'll get there. Yeah.
Right.
So when you said cardio, I was like, did the remote when I'm watching TV? No, not quite that.
Right.
And by the way, when you're doing your exercise, you can put on something that you like, right? So if you like music, listen to music. If you like I listen to documentaries. So I'll be working on, for example, I have this big screen television, and it's a documentary on something I wanted to learn. I wanted to learn about how Zimbabwe's dollar moved from what it was to wherever, or how the stock market was cornered during the 1980s, whatever it is. I'm watching this stuff, or it's playing and I'm hearing, and I can see it from time to time, and I'm doing my workouts. So I'm kind of getting more than one stuff in, or I might have the news running to just catch up on the news at the same time. So whatever works for you, just make sure you're getting the exercise and you're getting the diet that you need to be successful.
Side note, have you checked out Explained on Netflix?
Explained? No.
Yeah, you should, because I like documentaries too. I love learning. So you should check that out.
I will. Thank
on
you.
Netflix.
Thank
It
you.
talks about so many other stuff. All right. So let's get back to the show, the questions. All right. So what role does financial planning and budgeting play in achieving both financial prosperity and personal happiness?
That's a very, very good question, an excellent question. Now, a man, a woman, or a family without a plan is like a ship without a captain or a destination.
I
I'll say
agree.
that again. A man, woman, or a family without a plan is like a ship without a captain and a destination. So if you want to be happy, if you want to be healthy, if you want to be wealthy, you need to have a life plan with clear goals. Bottom line, what is a life plan? You have to sit down and say, what do I want to be? What do I want to become? What kind of life do I want? Now, my wife will tell you, I've had a life plan since the day we were married, 29 years ago. I mean, a very clear plan. And then, of course, I pester her with it for the rest of our lives, and until we finally get on the same page. And I have to adjust my plans to fit hers, and she adjusts her plan to fit mine. But we have a plan, and we work on it. Now, your plan must have some very smart goals in it. And for smart goals, it must be specific, it must be measurable, it must be achievable, it must be researched, and it must be time bound. I'll say that again: specific, measurable, achievable, researched, and time bound. Many times people forget the researched part. They have a plan, but it's not a plan that's based on reality, or a plan that's based on pragmatic thinking. So make sure it's very pragmatic. Okay, so that's it pretty much.
Can I just say that they did a study of some of the richest people out there, some of the most successful people, and they tried to go over what is there any correlation here? What is in common? And they said the number one thing that all of these people did was that each and every day they wrote their goals out. It's like this very subtle thing, and yet it seems to like focus you.
Yeah, I think that if we do that though, based on what Joseph was saying, like definitely we can definitely stay on path. So I love that, but just ensure that the goals are smart. They have to be achieved.
It must be smart. It must make sense to you. It must make sense to your life partner. It must even make sense to your kids if you have children. And to Amy's point, there are no wealthy people who got their wealth through working smart and hard, who didn't have a clear plan that they reminded themselves of every day. Some of them had it written down on the top of their bathroom window, bathroom glass. Some have it on their desk. Some have it, like we men, when I go to the bathroom, my plan is on my phone, and I'm using the toilet, sorry guys, and I'm reviewing my plan, so I'm not wasting any time, right? So I'm there going over my plan. Okay, what is it that I need to get done today? And how does this get me closer to where I need to be tomorrow, right? So your tomorrow is going to be a reflection of what you've done today and yesterday. Yeah.
Right. But you know how we always say that there's no book to how to live a life? I feel like everybody should just call Joseph L. Patterson. How do I live my life? How do I set these goals? What do I do next? This is happening. I love your messages, your responses. They are so powerful. They make certain sense.
Thank you.
And it's not like you never heard it before, but to have you reiterate and then back it up, that's what's making sense, So definitely, Joseph, really, really appreciate your responses to these questions. I have another question, and then we're going to actually head over to commercial real quick. How can individuals strike a balance between pursuing financial success and prioritizing their health and happiness?
That's a very good question, because it is really saying, how do you bring balance into your life? How do you make sure that you're not going overboard in any particular direction? I'm going to tell you this. This is how I do it, and maybe it will work for you as well. I have a statement in my head that goes something like this: your first wealth is your health. So I repeat that to myself. My wife will tell you, sometimes she tells me, I have so much to do. I don't have time to do my exercise. I said, no, you must have time for your exercise. Why? Because your health is your most important asset. If you don't have your health, nothing else matters. Without health, you cannot enjoy wealth. So there's no point in pursuing wealth at the expense of your health. It's better for you to pursue health at the expense of wealth, because with health, you can get wealth. You need a healthy mind and a healthy body in order to understand and make good financial decisions. If your mind isn't healthy, if your body isn't healthy, you're not going to make the best decision. A person who is impaired mentally or physically will make dumb decisions, because your impairment is going to, impair your judgment in that process. Wise people don't work for money. They understand that money is really just a tool. Unwise people work very hard for money and they'll never make enough of it because you're working for the wrong goal. If you work for the right goal, which is first of all to have a healthy mind, a healthy body, and you want to have good relationships with your partner, with your family, and with other people, your business partner, your spousal partner. If you build those solid relationships, and if you make sure that you have a plan for your life, that's how you're going to do well. But if you just set out and try to get money, you'll end up being immoral. You'll make poor choices. You might end up in prison. So it's very important that you focus not on the money, but on the quality of life that you want to lead, on the values that you want to live. What are your values? My values are to be healthy, so I must make healthy choices. My values are to have good relationships, so I must focus on building good relationships. My values are to not die poor or in poverty, so I must make good financial decisions. So if I balance all of my values, I end up with a better life. So please, don't work for the tool. Use the tool and make it work for you, and that tool is money.
Boy, Joseph, you have been making my notes. I'm writing everything down.
My pleasure.
I'm making it. I love. There is something that also, that just. So I am the type of person. I try to do my exercise every morning, but it's like, sometimes you just feel so busy. You have so much to do. I'm a mom, and then I'm like, all right, I can put it out for today. But then you're like, no point in pursuing wealth without health. What are you doing? So I literally had to say, wow, when you said that, because it is important that I'm healthy, because I have to run behind a 2-year-old who's trying to provide for her. So I need to keep my health up.
The funny thing is, let's say you're broke, but you have health. You can make money. But let's say you pursued money and you lost your health and now you're broke.
What happens next, right? Yeah.
It's hard to enjoy your money in a grave.
Yeah, and it's also hard. In life, you're going to be broke from time to time. Being broke is not a problem. Being poor is a problem. Poor is a mindset thing, okay? So if you're poor mentally, you have a problem. So being broke from time to time is okay. But don't be broke and unhealthy.
Definitely. All right, Mr. Patterson, we will be right back after these messages. We're going to take a quick break.
Discover a balanced life with McLaren Age Reversing Wellness Center. Our holistic approach helps you identify and address imbalances to achieve optimal well-being. Experience our range of services, including sauna therapy, vibration plate therapy, ionic foot detox, body blueprint nutritional audit, and magnetic full body scan. Book your appointment Monday to Friday from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. at our convenient location, 557 Main Street, Suite 201, New Rochelle, New York, 10801. Visit mcclawnswellness.com and schedule your appointment today for a healthier, more balanced you.
Thank you so very much. We are Money Talk Show. Continue on how to be happy, healthy, and wealthy. And we have Joseph L. Patterson with us. Continuing on with those fantastic questions. Can you answer what are some effective stress management techniques that support happiness, health, and wealth?
Wow, that's a big question because the whole world is suffering from so much stress and tension. But I'll tell you what works for me. Uh, I believe the most important way to manage stress effectively is to focus on building a solid character. If you focus on it's all the problems in the world becomes less problematic if you focus on building you, developing you as a person. So first of all, build a solid character. Now, for me, a solid character is one that is well defined in the Bible. It speaks of having a character of love, one where you have joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, gentleness, faithfulness, and self-control. And each of these words are very important. If you don't have patience, you're going to try too hard to succeed and you'll fail. If you're not kind, you're going to have significant problems with the people around you. If you are not somebody who is good inherently in terms of looking out for the good in others and looking out for ways to do good to others, if you're not gentle, if you're not faithful, if people can't trust you, if your spouse can't trust you, if your business partners can't trust you, if those you're working with cannot trust you, you have a problem. And if you don't have self-control, you're going to go overboard. You're going to make bad decisions. And so that's number one, developing a solid character. Number two, you have to obey the laws of health. And just like there are laws of physics and chemistry, there are laws of health, as well as economics. The laws of health requires you to focus on some key things. Good nutrition is number one, eating properly, drinking plenty of water, to flush the system, to clean the system and hydrate the system is important. Enjoying a good amount of time every day in the open air, in the sunshine, so that it can rejuvenate your skin. The sun is like a battery for your body. It's going to put energy into you. The water is like electrolyte, which is taking that energy and pumping it through around the body and getting it into your cells. And the food is where the body draws on for the nutrients that makes all of that system work. You also need clean air. Just like air oxygen is needed for a fire to burn, you need air inside for your body to burn and burn the fat and burn the food and cause the nutrients to spread out to the rest of your body. The same thing is true of rest. Your body is a machine, and a machine that needs certain cycles. One of them is the rest cycle, where you have to rest the machine. If you have a machine and you work it constantly, day in, day out, without rest, it's going to break. It has to have rest period where it repairs itself, in our case, and where it uses the nutrients to repair the cells and give you the kind of energy you need. You need to also have an attitude of gratitude. Again, these are the laws of health. If you don't have an attitude where you're grateful to your creator, grateful to your partner, grateful to your friends, grateful to your associates, grateful to all the wonderful people that have made a difference in your life, then you're going to be out of balance in terms of health. And finally, you need to ensure that you develop a sense of not blaming others for your financial position. Tell yourself the truth that your financial position is actually determined by the market value that you bring to society. And I know that sounds weird, but you are financially where you are because of the value you bring to society. If you look at a person like Michael Jordan, he brings a ton of value to society from the sports entertainment space. So because of that, he's richly rewarded by society. The same for you and me. Yes, we might not be as rich as he is, but it's simply because we have not produced as much value as he has produced for the world. So
also makes a good shoe, let me tell you.
Sorry, say that again?
I just say he makes a good shoe as well.
Absolutely.
Financial decisions.
I mean, there's so many ways, right? So the final thing, if you want to reduce your stress, be very honest with yourself and say this to yourself. My economic value is determined by the demand for what I do, how well I do it, and how difficult it is to replace me. So if you want more out of life, simply be in a space where what you're offering is what people want, do it very well, and make yourself indispensable.
I just want to point out how important it is. I think that some people think they have to be cutthroat to be successful, when I think that we can have a different path of getting there empathetically. And so I think that's a lot of what you were saying, and I just couldn't agree more.
Absolutely. I mean, what you're going to learn from my message really is that you don't have to be even competitive. You just have to challenge yourself. You just have to be the best you that you can be.
Exactly.
Be your best. Challenge yourself. Put yourself like you're Usain Bolt, and what you're trying to do. You're not worried about who's to your left or to your right. You've set a target. I want to go at 9.26 in this run, and you focus on that. Hit 9.26, you're a winner.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Thank you so very much for that answer. Actually, before I continue on, I do have to ask, because someone asked in chat, and you were just, the second half of the answer was eating healthy. I just have to ask, do you have any specific advice on someone trying to eat on a budget?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Trying to eat on a budget is much more easier than you think. It's just your mind now that's going to play games on you. There's nothing wrong with drinking porridge. There's nothing wrong with eating turned cornmeal. There's nothing wrong with eating cabbage and callaloo and pap chow. Don't push yourself to eat what your friends are eating. You don't have to compete with anybody to eat at their level, because their level might actually be destructive. So eat simple, eat economical, and focus on the nutrients you're getting, not on the social status what you're eating brings.
All right. There's another that is also in chat, buddy, where you're from, United Independence Congress, St. Mary. The question is, what would be your advice to those who would say that buying vegetables and fruits are more costly?
It depends on what vegetables and fruits you buy, right? So if you, and by the way, in the current environment, because of what our policymakers and decision makers did, they have created problems in the agricultural space, right? So they have caused you to have less food available because of their policies. Now that's the politics now, guys. So you have to now make choices, right? So when something is very expensive, avoid that kind of food, because it might be less because of demand and supply. Less produced, price goes up. Shift your diet to something else that's more available and more cheap. So buy turnips if you can't afford yellow yam because the price has gone up. Buy ackee when it's not short and more available, and so on. So just make choices like that, and you'll be okay.
And get substitutes where necessary.
Substitutes for anything, absolutely. And oatmeal remains very cheap, by the way.
Right. All right, so back on questions.
All right, so I would like to know, how can individuals cultivate a sense of purpose and fulfillment to enhance their overall well-being and wealth?
Wow. How can individuals cultivate a sense of purpose and fulfillment? Okay. Well, first of all, accept that you're one of a kind. Accept that you're special. Accept that you are God-given, that you came from a marvelous creator, and you're here to make a tremendous difference, a tremendous contribution in a practical and pragmatic area of your passion. So if you find out what is it that makes me tick, what is my passion, and find an area that you can live that passion in, that's practical and that's pragmatic. So for example, don't say I want to be a fashion model. That's your passion, and then you're just going to try to do it the normal way. If that way isn't available to you, maybe you can change into a different version of a fashion model. Maybe you're going to get into fashion clothing, for example.
Right.
That. So don't be restricted by the basics. Open your mind up and look for opportunities. Second, do not seek to compete with or rival others. Challenge yourself by setting self-development goals and achieving them in a daily, measurable, incremental kind of way. So again, pace yourself, right? And just set goals you can achieve, and every day just chip away at it. And third, understand yourself, your mind, your body, your personality. Understand people. That's human behavior. So you can understand what people are doing to you, trying to do with you, and how to bring out the best in yourself and them if possible. And understand money, the economics, the politics, the taxes, the markets, the law. If you don't spend the time to understand the world around you, it's going to crush you, because the world is very unsympathetic. It is brutal, but you can make it a better world by making sure you understand yourself and understand it, and then plan how to navigate all the different obstacles and come out a winner in the end.
I cannot appreciate that answer more. And all right, continuing forward, what role does gratitude, being thankful, play in achieving happiness and wealth? And how can we actually cultivate that in our own daily lives?
That's a very big question. All right. Gratitude is the key. It is the key to appreciating that there is someone and others outside of yourself that is a part of your journey. It's appreciating that there's a creator, there's a God, there's something bigger than you, something bigger than all of us, something that created you, that made you into the possibility that you are. And there are other people who have journeyed with you along this life journey. If you think about your, you can be thankful for your, not just your creator, but your parents, your guardians, those people who gave you the opportunity to contribute to society. You can be grateful for your friends, your co-workers, your employers, even your enemies. For your enemies, in their attempts to bring you down, often sharpen you. They cause you to become better than you were before, because now you've had to deal with their attacks. You've had to deal with learning more about people through the experience you've gone through with them. And so for me, for example, in the political space, I come under a lot of attacks, a lot of treachery, a lot of tricky people, a lot of deceptive people. But while they may do their worst, all I have to do is my best, and I'll become a better person. So I have a lot of gratitude for not only my friends, not only those who have helped me along the way in a positive sense, but even those who have sought to use negativity or to call themselves my enemies. They actually make me stronger.
Just to continue quoting people wiser than myself, forgive your enemies, nothing irritates them more.
Good point. Good point.
But okay, I really do appreciate, because you do kind of you grow not just from the people by your side and the people who have unconditional love for you, which you should be glad to have, but also by the roadblocks, by the things that we endure and come out better on the outside.
Absolutely. And it's life itself is a chiseling. It's refining you. And of course, some people break under the pressure because that's the nature of life. Some of us will break. But if you can just avoid breaking, just keep it together. Just focus on the fact that you are special. You have a purpose. You're on a mission. And all of the things that come at you, negative and positive, is just a stepping stone to make you the better person you're meant to be.
Amen. And all right. Continuing very, we like to keep the questions very simple here. How can a support system positively influence happiness, health, and of course, our own and everyone around us, their financial success?
So support systems are very important, and they come in various forms, right? Some of us have supportive parents or parent. Sometimes, I was raised for the first 11 years of my life by a single mother. So she was very supportive. She couldn't help me in ways that I needed. She couldn't help me in the academic area because she was hardly educated herself, but she worked very hard and made sure that I went to school, even if I didn't have the books to go to school with, or I didn't have the tools to take to school. She made sure I went to school. So that was a supportive mom. Some people have supportive mothers and supportive fathers who, help them along, give them good self-esteem, and may even provide practical help. So for example, I think, Momo, you have a child. So if you have supportive parents that can help you with the child, to raise the child while you're trying to build a business or or build your finances or whatever, that's good. That's great. So that kind of support is very helpful. Some of us don't have that support, never had that support, and we have to work around it. Then you have supportive siblings. If your brothers and sisters or your brother or sister is there for you, that can make a big difference too. Sometimes a big brother or a big sister can give you counsel that will help you along the way to make good decisions. Sometimes it just help you to, not hurt yourself because of what you're going through. Then you have also a spouse. You could have a supportive wife or a supportive husband. I'm very fortunate. I have one of the most supportive wife that any husband could ever ask for. I mean, there's no way in my personal life that I could have achieved even half of what I did without the support of the wife that I have. I'll give you one example. When I migrated to Canada in the 1990s, we got married very young, and I went to Canada to live with her. Very shortly after that, she lost her job and I was unemployed. So, geez, what a bad situation. And I just got to Canada not too long, and I redid her tax return from a previous tax accountant, and I did her tax return for the year that previously just ended. And during that process, I was able to, I'd never done tax returns before, but I figured it out. And I raised for her about $2,000 Canadian, a lot of money back then. And I said to her, well, we talked about what we're going to do next because we're a young couple, 23 years old. And she suggested that I could go back to school because, I could do very well. She thinks I'm really smart. I mean, it's so nice to have a wife that thinks you're really smart, right? So she thought I was really smart and she thought I could accomplish anything. So she boosted me up really, really big. And she said, I can use the tax return to pay for my tuition to study accounting. I was an engineer before and I wanted to do accounting. And I took $1,500 out of her tax return money. She got me other $500 to spend as she saw fit. And I got $1,500 because she decided, and I used that $1,500 to pay for my first set of courses in the CGA program, Certified General Accountant program. And that $1,500 investment in me by my wife has returned for us millions, absolutely millions, because of that one investment. So that's a major really support, cool. Simple support that can make a big difference in your life.
I must say, though, Mr. Patterson, I've had the opportunity, the greatest opportunity to be able to conversate with Mrs. Charlotte Patterson. And I must say, she is absolutely pleasant. I adore her. She is so nice, so pleasant, easy to talk to, down to earth. Mm-hmm. I like her. I love your wife. I'm sorry.
Me too.
I love her with you. She is absolutely awesome. She's absolutely awesome.
Thank you. I heard you out. Thank you. Yes.
Right. We're gonna have to go to break right now, so we'll be right back after these messages.
Mm-hmm. Are you ready to provide peace of mind to the ones you love the most? Protect them with Assure for Life funeral membership. Join the ranks of over 2 million protected individuals in Latin America and the United States. Our dedication to excellence has earned us an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. We care about your specific needs, and our consultants are here to provide personalized advice, ensuring you make the right decision for your family's future. Choose the best option for you. Our family membership protects up to 7 loved ones between ages 0 and 65, coverage of traditional funeral services for the primary member and their family members, includes parents up to 80 years of age, transportation within the United States, Washington, D.C., and Puerto Rico, with repatriation to the country of origin within the coverage area, round-trip airfare exclusively for the primary member to attend the service of plan members, 24/7 customer support line, staffed by a specialized team of professionals providing personalized assistance, and continuous support during the time of the service. You can also choose this membership for 1 or 2 people, extending the same level of protection and care to your closest individuals. Our Silver membership protects individuals between ages 66 and 75, coverage of traditional funeral services for the primary member and their family member or friend, option to add protection for 1 additional person between 0 and 75 years old with an additional fee, regardless of kinship, transportation to the country of origin, round-trip airfare exclusively for the primary plan holder to attend the service of their protected family members or friends, 24/7 customer support line offering personalized assistance during difficult times, and continuous support during the time of the service. Protect your loved ones with Assure for Life Funeral membership. Contact us at 646-688-5554 for more information.
Transform your child's future with our $1 Million Baby IUL plan. Start your child's journey to becoming the youngest millionaire in your family today. From just 1 month to 17 years, this plan is designed to secure your child's financial success. Contact us for more information.
Welcome back, everyone. We are having an awesome conversation with Mr. Joseph Patterson, who is a MP right here in Jamaica. And we are having a conversation about how to be happy, healthy, and wealthy. All right, Mr. Patterson. So we're going to just jump right back into those questions as we come close to the end of our show right now. So, Mr. Patterson, can you share any success stories of individuals, maybe you can just narrate to one, who have achieved a harmonious balance of happiness, health, and wealth in their lives? Maybe yourself.
Sure. So that's a cue for me not to talk too long. No problem. I'm going to tell you about, I don't want to talk about any particular person too much, but I'm going to tell you one gentleman I know, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about myself, my wife and I. So there's this gentleman I know, his name is Robert Kennedy. He recently, well, not recently, he passed away in the last maybe 5 years. He has lived to, I'm guessing, a little bit over 100 years old. Much of what I told you before is what he lived. That was his life. He lived in Mandeville, a place called up Knockpatrick area, that end. He, a great man. I met him when I just went to Canada in the early years, and he came back to Jamaica just like I did in 2011. He came back before me in the 1990s. And I really admired the way he carried himself. He was also a vegetarian, also, family oriented. Much of the values I'm sharing with you, he espoused and lived those values. He ran a successful business with his wife, which was taken over by his daughters and his 2 sons. Very, very wealthy, but wealthy in a way that I like to suggest. You see, wealthy for some people is a lot of money, right? I'm not talking about a lot of money. I'm talking about a lot of life. Yeah, having a decent, clean, healthy, wholesome, financially secure life. It doesn't mean you have a lot of money, but you have a lot of life, a lot of love, a lot of peace, a lot of joy, a lot of family, a lot of all the things that makes for a rich person. So when I talk about wealth, I'm not talking about having a lot of money. I'm talking about having enough money. He said, what is enough? Enough meaning you are financially secure. You have made good choices. So in my life now, what I have done to make sure that I am more financially secure than maybe others is, for example, I learned that my health was number one. So I'm going to make sure I'm healthy. Number 2, I invest in farmland. So I have a fair bit of farmland. Number 3, I invest in growing my own food. So I have good quality food that I produce myself and I can share with others. I also make sure that I have good water harvesting technology. So I have my own water supply. I make sure I have good.
Excuse me?
Yes, I do. I mean,
I love that.
Sorry?
I love that you have your own water supply.
Yeah,
so just in competition, I have a Brita. Just putting that out there.
Oh, there you go. There you go. So what I did, I dug, a deep water harvesting facility. So I capture the rainwater. I have my water filter system to purify that. And I also store and gravity feed it through my house. So I don't have to, Then I also make sure I have energy systems that are not depending on the grid system. So I can be off the grid. I'm still connected to the grid, but the grid is my backup. So if my own system fails, I have the grid as a backup. So water, if you have your water supply, if you have your energy supply, if you have your food supply, if you own your land, if you own your house. So I made sure very young, as a young man, to be mortgage free. So I don't have a mortgage to pay. So I make sure of that. It's very important to have security in your home. So if you focus as a young person on having those basics, you're not paying somebody every month for your home, so you're free from the stress of the bank taking away your home from you. That's financial security. If you have your water supply, so your water harvesting, that's security. If you have your own energy supply, that's security. And if you build a small business that is, or medium size or big, it's okay, that provides you a steady flow of cash, that's great. So if you put all those pieces in place, you might not be as rich as, say, Bill Gates or Warren Buffett, but you don't have to be. We don't have to be filthy rich. You just need to be rich in life, rich in personality, rich in family, rich in relationships, rich in having confidence in yourself, having health, and feeling good about who you are, knowing that you're positively contributing to society. And that's why I created the UIC, the United Independence Congress. So having done all the things that I've done, my goal now is to see if I can bring this to my fellow men and women. If I can teach Jamaicans how we can be happy, healthy, and wealthy without following the path that we've been taught in school or by the society that's been shaped by avarice and greed, how can we be healthy without being foolish?
We need to get you elected, and we also need to get you in schools. You need a book. Do you have any book?
I don't have a written book as yet, but my wife has been pushing me for years to write it.
Please, sorry, I will buy. I know persons that will buy. Please, okay. I feel like you should do that. You would do your country and the diaspora a great deed.
Like Mo says, at least 2 copies sold right here.
Thank you, guys. Much appreciated. So I'll send you my first copy as soon as it's off the press.
Yes, please. Yes, please. Not too expensive, no.
No, it'll probably be around $50 US.
I'm just joking. All right. How can a focus on continuous learning and personal development lead to greater happiness and financial growth?
Now, that's a great question. Focusing on continuous development or continuous learning, you said? Now,
right. Continuous.
Lifelong learning is fundamental to lifelong growth and development. If you're not learning continuously, it means you're falling behind.
Right.
There's only 2 ways to go in life, up or down. You cannot stand still. So you have to be learning continuously. So for me, I never stop learning. I'm an accountant by profession. I fully understand economics. I fully understand business. I fully understand money. Yet still, I keep refreshing that knowledge by looking at what's the latest trend, what's the latest thought, what's the latest development in each of these sectors. I also, as you can tell, I spend time learning health because I can't trust my body to the doctors. I have to make sure that when I'm speaking to a doctor, at least I understand the language that he knows. I may not be as smart as he is or as in depth in it as he is, but I must understand the parameters. So for my health, I must. For my finances, I must. And for my relationship, I must. I have to study relationships. So I spend time studying people. How do I please my wife more? How do I make her happier with being with me as opposed to being with somebody else? And how do I make my children happier with me as their dad as opposed to wishing they had somebody else? I'm not saying I'm perfect. What I'm saying is I have to keep learning if I'm going to be on the cutting edge of life.
No, I have to definitely agree with that. We can't all stay at one level. We have to always be climbing and be better at the things that we want to achieve and the goals that we make, and just constantly set those things and just kind of keep focus, And as we come to the end of our show, I actually have one more question for you before we go. What are some ways to integrate physical activities and exercise into a busy schedule to promote both health and wealth? Because we were talking about this before, you seem so passionate. So I'm asking you just to share some of that with us before you go.
Sure. I mean, life really, in life you have to have routines. So you must set up routines in your life. First of all, start with a checklist every day. You must wake up every morning having a checklist that you wrote the night before. That's exactly what you're going to accomplish. Try not to make it too elaborate because it's going to cause you to give up. So have like 3, 4, or 5 things you must accomplish for the day and have them in order. That's number one. Then number two, top of that list must be to make yourself healthy for the day. So what you're going to eat, how you're going to exercise, and of course, again, it's a routine. So you know it already. You knew it before. So you're going to fit into the routine, and then you have your next 3 tasks that you're going to do very well. And the best thing about having a goal and a list is that when you accomplish the things on the list, when you tick them off, you feel so good about yourself. And the more you feel good about yourself is the more you're motivated to do good the next day and the next day and the next day and the next day. And before you know it, you have moved from being financially insecure to being very financially secure because you have done the basics. If you miss the basics, nothing else matters.
I agree with that 100%. Well, Mr. Patterson, it's such a pleasure having you here. All the golden nuggets that you have shared, your responses are on point, on the spot. I really appreciate our conversations today. Don't you, Amy?
Could not agree more. I think there was a lot of valuable knowledge and information, like Mo was saying, for everyone out there to live a healthier and ultimately wealthier life.
Yeah, and if you're happy, you can enjoy your health and you can create your wealth. If you don't have wealth, you're not going to be happy. If you don't have health, you're not going to be happy. So be a happy person. So you can have the health and you can have the wealth, and the cycle will continue. Life is about you making the most of every single day that God has given you. Make the most of life.
100%.
Couldn't agree more. This is a message we sponsor at the Money Talk Show. Spread happiness.
The happy politician. That's
right.
Yeah.
And getting you president. Whatever country, whether it's here, because we need one here as well. And all right, thank you for joining us on our Money Talk Show on our pre-launch episode 12, How to Be Happy, Healthy, and Wealthy, as we discussed how to build a healthy lifestyle that promotes happiness and wealthiness we could pass on to future generations, and brought the voices we thought could help you understand how to make better economic or intellectual decisions, like our fantastic guest tonight, Joseph L. Patterson, who gave their health, leadership, and financial advice to you. I also want to thank tonight's host, the fabulous Mo. Backstage, our hardworking Alex, along with our man with a plan, our executive producer, Glenn Roy. I am Amy, who is sending you love. If you enjoy the show, please don't forget to hit that like button on YouTube. This upvote helps the algorithm send our content out to new people, building our audience, viewers like you. But also subscribe if you feel like joining the Money Talk Show family, then hitting that bell icon to all so you can get more of us in your feed by seeing our premieres or joining our live streams. Sending love to everyone in chat, like future episodes like our launch party. Finally, if you're looking to support the show, why not head over to our Patreon and unlock some unique perks by going to patreon.com/moneytalkshow, where you can get some behind the scenes early access and VIP perks, as we talk about putting your mind at ease by growing the one asset that makes your dreams come true. Money! Good night, everyone.
Good night, guys.